Good afternoon. Welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby, and I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion for the divine feminine, and I do these talks every day to inspire men and women to be more loving, attract healthy relationships. And they're called Message from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart, but they're really for everybody. And today's topic is one in a series of talks I do daily, and this is number 292 in an ongoing series of talks, so there's quite a lot of these under my belt, so 8 more and it's 300. Whoa. The 300 is coming. So, today's topic is, as always, usually inspired from daily life. I was having a conversation last night with a new friend at a networking meeting, and we started talking, and I really got clear how much she's done, the work she's done, but also the journey she's still in the middle of. And I gave her some good, I believe, useful tools to work through it. So let me give you the topic first, and then I'll get into the conversation, in case you didn't read the title of this broadcast. The topic is healing yourself leads to real love. That really is the answer right there. But there's more than that to the conversation, so I want to give you some tools and keys and some understanding also where I come from personally, both in my business and in my personal life. Ooh, insights into my personal life. You get some I expose myself sort of thing. Well, more transparency, I'll say. Let's put it that way. So, to the topic, shall we? First of all, and I've said this before several times in the last few months in my talks, and if you haven't watched my other broadcasts, there's a lot of content I've put out over the last almost 9 months? Something like that. It's been a lot. Anyway, this one, though, speaks to a theme I have spoken about before, which is this. It's easy to think that finding somebody new will make you feel better about your past breakup. It's easy to think that your next love will save you from all the trauma and pain you had from your childhood. It's easy to think that, but it's not practical. And it's not liable to happen. In fact, it's very unlikely to happen because unless you date somebody who's got the skills I've gained, let me say it this way. Unless you date a relationship coach who's going to help you heal that, you're not going to heal that stuff with them, with any partner you meet with. And secondly, it's not good to date a relationship coach or somebody that's that experienced unless you've done the work yourself. Speaking personally. I talked about blind date last week, and reflecting on some of the things I've been through in my own healing and growth journey, it's really hard to relate romantically with somebody who's not done their own work on their own path, their own healing as well. So that's one little peek into my personal life. I'll give you another one later on, I think. We'll see how it goes. So what to do? If you're like me, which is not recommended because it took me over 30 years to get here, my eyes were opened to the understanding about self-love and healing and growth and transformation back in the late 80s. And I've been doing it ever since. And so it's been a passionate path of my own and a discovery for myself to keep learning more and more about how to be more authentic, more vulnerable, more transparent, more comfortable in my skin, because I am now in a place where I'm really respecting who this person is in here. It wasn't like that at the beginning, and it's been a long road to get here. So healing, in the sense I mean it, is really about shedding the baggage you've been carrying around for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years that still shows up in your love life. In particular. Now, the reason I'm saying the love life, because this baggage that you've been dragging around is usually tied to your heart, energetically speaking or emotionally speaking. It's tied to those associations to love when you were younger. So it doesn't usually get impacted when you're in business or is impacted when you're dealing with money necessarily, but it generally shows up when you're in the place of love and relationship, because that's when the walls come down. So not only are you getting more love coming in, but all the demons inside are coming out to play, which can be challenging for your new relationship. So the way I've said healing of your heart leads to real love is really that when you do the work yourself, you do the loving yourself, you really start to love who you are and do the healing work necessary to release the judgments, blame, guilt, resentment, disturbance you still carry from your childhood or from your teenage years or from your younger adult life from past relationships. As soon as that's healed, one, the more able to love freely without risk that coming up again, but those demons coming out to play again. But secondly, which fingers going to which hands? Secondly, you'll actually be able to express more love. Now, this is a piece you want to be aware of. You're only able to love as much as you're free to love. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But what I mean literally is, your freedom is to come out of the jail you put yourself in from all the trauma and pain you suffered when you were younger. 90%. Oh, you should. Hi, Jennifer. Yes, you are catching me live for a change. Thank you for joining me. I try to aim for around this time of day, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, give or take, but it's not always guaranteed. And if I'm doing something else, it may not happen. But today, we're here. So if you catch me that time, great. I try to do it where it's late afternoon for the West Coast and evening for the East Coast and middle of the night for people in England. That doesn't work. Different time zones. Anyway, getting back on topic. This dance of healing, this ability to clear out the baggage, the junk from before, is what frees you up to love fully in the present. And it sounds so simplistic in a way. And I was talking to this woman last night. She's done, as I said, she's done a lot of work, and she comes from a very, I'll turn on notifications. Yes, indeed. I'll get you. Hang on. I'll get to that in a second. I'm just on this other point I was trying to make before I drop it. Speaking with her, there was some definite things where she's come from a very traumatic background. Her upbringing, her family, and relatives was very abusive, sexually abusive. Now, that's an extreme case, but if you've been dealing with that, your future partner is not the one that's going to help you heal it, usually. Your future partner is the one you've got to do yourself. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you back in the broadcast. So, to do the work yourself before you get into a relationship, gives them a break and yourself a break. So, hold on to that. So, sorry, reading what your question was. What have you found out to be the root cause of violence patterns between a couple? Have you worked with couples who have rehabilitated that pattern? Not personally, no, I haven't, but I've worked with clients who've been through that themselves individually. The root cause of violent patterns between couples, 90% of the time, is childhood programming. The way I put it in simple, and this is one piece, not the only piece, one of the major pieces of violence in a relationship comes from either violence from a childhood upbringing by parents or relatives, or suppression by violence of love, of caring, and concern. So if you're talking personally about your experience of having a violent relationship with somebody else, it may not be your baggage, it might be their baggage, or it might be both. Without going deeper and actually working with someone who's dealing with this, I can't give you a one-line answer. However, I will say this, and this is part of the work I've done over the years myself and discovered from my own program in healing, is about sharing this yesterday on the summit I'm going to be on. Yes. All of us, human beings, particularly those who are raised by a parent or two, got to give some predicates on this, are influenced over the first 5, 6, 7 years of our life by what our parents, or those people who are raising us, model for us. Not usually by what they say to us, although often that happens too, but how they model life, love, expression, connection, communication, intimacy, fighting, all of that stuff. How they demonstrate it in front of us is what we look at and go, that's the way it is. That's why a lot of kids nowadays are being influenced by television, because that's what's in front of them. It's teaching them by what they see. But most of us who have ideally one or two parents, I mean, I was grateful enough for my own upbringing, but at the same time, even with my parental upbringing, I picked up habits and patterns I didn't know I'd done until I was an adult and released them. So what I'm going to say here is this. It's quite likely that your relationship choices, your relationship partners, your relationship experiences are directly created, influenced, and designed based on the programming you received when you were 4 years old. Yes, when you were very young. The way I describe it is there are hereditary behavioral patterns, meaning that generation per generation passed along the patterns of growth. So one of my clients, she found out her mother who'd been abusing her, had been abused by her mother. So it wasn't that her mother was doing it out of no reason, but she'd been raised with understanding that abuse is what was the right way to do things. And so then my client has now stopped that pattern for how many generations back, we don't know, but at least 2, actually 3, including her. So the recognition is that you have the opportunity in this moment, if you choose to, particularly if you're single, to heal and to end behavioral patterns that have been running through your family lineage for generations. That's possible. Which comes me back, I'm just watching where I'm going with this, which brings me back to the main point again, which is this. You have an opportunity in your single days, especially when you're not in a relationship. That's why I talked about last week about going from relationship to relationship to relationship with nothing in between isn't healthy. This is why. Taking the time between the last relationship you're in and the next one you choose to be in to do the inner work, the self-reflective work, the healing work, so that you can love more fully and cleanly again, I would say is your highest priority. If you have got patterns from your past relationship where you did things, said things, received things, didn't do things, whatever it was that didn't work for you, you can change those in the wiring you have inside, reprogram here and here, head and heart, so that you move forward from a much cleaner place to attract healthy relationships. Because one of these things is this: you will change how you love and express. I mentioned that. The other part, which is the best kept secret, is the person you'll attract to you will not repeat those patterns with you if you've already healed them. So, for example, if you were someone who was physically abused as a child, particularly when you were younger, under 5 years old, your wiring inside in your subconscious, below the level of consciousness, is wired to associate abuse with love. And so until you change that pattern, it will tend to show up. Again, I'm not being like black and white with this. It's not being like it always happens or it never happens. It tends to happen, just because there are exceptions to the rule. That means that if you were abused as a child, it's quite likely you actually start dating partners who will abuse you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not the same way, but you'll experience abuse. And it may just be on the level of psychic or emotional or mental, not just physical. It could be different ones. So, when you do the healing work between, I'm saying when because I'm inviting you to choose that for yourself, the next relationship you go into, it's quite likely you will no longer have that experience in that relationship. And actually, attract a relationship that is very different from that, because that pattern is no longer in your wiring, running the show behind the scenes, creating results you don't want. I hope that makes sense. That's why I'm so passionate about this piece of the work, is to do the inner work, to release the baggage. The thing about baggage, this emotional baggage we carry on from relationship to relationship, you can't just cut this rope and hope it falls away. It's magnetized to you based upon the unresolved issues you have. So rather than pretend it's not there, which some people do, I've dated people like that, never again, I highly encourage you to take a clear and honest look at the baggage you're carrying. Those patterns, programs, beliefs, rules, upsets, hurt feelings, judgments, blame, all these different things that you're carrying about past relationships that will influence your future relationships. It's a really big work in a way, but it's incredibly healing and freeing. I am passionate about this. As much as I'm about helping my clients attract amazing relationships, this is the secret weapon, in a way. This is the secret piece, because to attract the right relationship, not only do you have a clear vision, but you've got to make sure you can see the vision, which you can't if you've got your old patterns running. That's how big this is. I think I can get off my soapbox now. You got my point. So let me say this. If this is something that is of concern to you, or you're aware of this now and going, oh yes, this is true for me, and you want to get help, I'm not saying I'm the only person that can help you, but I know I can. So if you want to take advantage of my time, and be careful I phrase that, I do offer a complimentary, as in a gift, a free discovery session where we can go talk about this. And we go a little deeper and see where you are and see where you want to go and see if I can help you. And if that works, great. If it doesn't, it's fine. My intention is that if you do take me up on the offer, I'll leave you better off than I found you. I hope that sounds good. Sounds clean. To get that discovery session, you go to my website, which is barryselby.com, and you click on the Let's Chat navigation button on the top of the screen, and you can sign up right there for a discovery session. If you haven't watched my broadcasts before, I do invite you to watch them on my website, which is barryselby.com. Click on the video blog. They're also on my business page on Facebook, which is barryselby.author, and also on my... yes, Michelle, I think that was good. Or also on my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby. These will end up there, which is Messages from the Masculine is the playlist, and Barry Selby is the channel. If you want to check out my website out for other stuff, I have my coaching, I also have my online program I mentioned before, and a lot of other good stuff. You go to barryselby.com, have a peruse and browse around. Be aware that you may be listening to 90s music in your head because it is a slightly old-fashioned looking site. It does need to be updated, just to be transparent about that. I'm having fun today. I hope this has been of help to you. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, please put them below or respond. If you want to get direct help, you can either go to my website, as I say, and click on the Let's Chat button, or send me a message over social media. My service, my work, my guidance to help people be in love, love more, and be loved more. And if that's something you want more of, you know where to find me. With that, I thank you for watching. Please take care of yourselves. And yes, love yourself more than you have before. You deserve it, and you'll attract more love the more you love yourself. Kind of a simple equation. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful evening. And be kind to yourself. Bye.